Welcome to Brainstorm MTG. I'm ELD, and this is Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering. We have Blue Moon versus Hate and Bears, two unconventional decks here in Vintage you probably haven't seen very much of. Ponder off of a turn 1 island and fetching another basic, and Blue Moon is all about getting down a Blood Moon and a Null Rod and trying to avoid your opponent playing any magic, ideally. Make it so they can't cast any of their spells, or at least not do anything too broken that can't be handled. Brainstorm here for Max. Off of Tropical Island. How long will that stay an island and a forest? Will be a determining factor in this game in all likelihood. Hate and Bears. A lot of non-basics in it. Bunch of different color requirements. Red, blue, green, all in ample amounts to cast those planeswalkers, and Narset being pitched to Force of Will, Sylvan Library. Very interesting. Narset seems to be an excellent answer to Sylvan. There's a Dak Faden. I'm not sure what I am missing there. Dak Faden of his own. Narset's such an incredibly powerful card. Of course, with Dak Faden, you can actually start making them lose their hand position. Draw 1, discard 2. And a Pyroblast clearing out Dak Faden. Ticking up Life from the Loam now. Enjoying some true card advantage off of Dak Faden. Returning lands and discarding them to Dak. See here we've got green, red, and blue mana all working together. Things going well for Max. Snapcaster on the other side. Does threaten to eventually clear that Dak Faden, but I gotta think the Bears side of the equation should be able to handle a little old 2-1. Let's see what Max comes up with here. He has at 11 life. Sylvan does give him a choice every turn to pay some life and get some extra cards. And here's a Preordain. Fast Bond. Wasteland taking out the Volcanic Island. Another Wasteland in hand. Life in the Loam can allow for some very explosive ramping here with the mana base. Lightning Bolt clearing away that Snapcaster Mage, and Dak Faden digging just a bit deeper prior to that. Life from the Loam getting dredged back. Sylvan Library. Those cards staying put. 3 cards getting back from Life from the Loam, and Dak is about to ramp up. Like we've lost our life total for now. See if we can follow along even without it. So draw step, dredging back Life from the Loam. And Vendilion Click during the upkeep, or during the draw step. Life from the Loam returning 3 lands. Dak ticking up. Discarding a couple of mental missteps versus a hell-bent opponent. Losing a little bit of life to replay some mana off of Fast Bond. And cycling Slice and Dice to KO that Vendilion Click and draw a card. And Blue Moon gonna call it there. Dak Faden kicked up high enough that he would start to actually be able to get an emblem. And Max might be able to start stealing permanents. So that is time to move on for DJ. Definitely an important consideration in Vintage. It does seem from the outside to be a format where matches can be over very, very fast, but as we just saw, they can drag on through all sorts of muddy game states. That was really kind of tooth and nail there for Sylvan Library, grinding things out with Dak, drawing extra cards, just trying to find a way. Didn't really have any creatures on board the whole time, but he just kept digging and just forcing it into a war of attrition with Wastelands, and eventually got the concession. So from DJ's side of the board here, he needs to make sure that he leaves enough time for games 2 and 3 in this 50-minute round. This is part of the ELD Vintage Open. Our next one is coming up June 22nd, 2019. We are before that date. If not, next one will likely be in about a month or so. We have them almost every month here. Usually drawing a nice little crowd. I would really love to break 20 players this year. I think the most we had was it was in the teens, I believe, in earlier part of the year. Strip Mine here for Max, not being played up front. Time Walk for DJ. And Mock Sapphire and Passing, so could have been a lot worse. Fast Bond. And we see some forces there for DJ. Is he going to expend one here on this Fast Bond? Much more threatening card when Gush was legal as a 4 of. Taking a couple points of damage here. Strip Mine, Vendilion Click in response. DJ clicking himself. And we've got a Force of Will on a new card that I'm blanking on. Let me know in the comments. I believe it is a Disenchant effect. Sylvan Library now. And clearing the Vendilion Click. So DJ's one advantage there was potentially having a board presence cleared away for 1 mana. And now Sylvan Library getting to work. Starting to dig. Sylvan seeing a bunch of extra play now in Vintage, even in the Paradoxical Outcome decks that are really looking to win in kind of a single turn, have started using cards like Sylvan Library. Just because of how efficient it is, just 2 mana over time, it really just makes a huge difference. Creates an inevitability on your side of the board. And Time Walk from Max. Sylvan again, continually improving here. And it looks like we've got a Tarmogoyf. DJ with just 3 cards in hand. Goyf coming in. And this is starting to look grim here. Will Goyf get here? Life from the Loam on top, or is that a Polluted Delta? Let's see. No, repealing Goyf, drawing a card. Goyf coming back down, and no counter, so just buying a turn. Lotus. We have Jace that will bounce Goyf. Lightning bolting Jace. Flusterstorm, the lightning bolt, and now a ponder. Big swing. Board has really flipped here. Max was completely in the driver's seat. Now there's Jace the Mind Sculptor. Potentially keep Tarmogoyf clear for a couple of turns, but is that a Pyroblast that we see on top of the deck? Goyf Lightning Bolt clearing away Jace, keeping the Pyro for a potentially stronger blue card, allowing Brainstorm to resolve. And there's the hand from DJ. Goyf going to swing lethal the next turn, and Max taking it down with Tarmogoyf in Vintage.